So, hi and welcome to yet another episode of the Beat Reviews that we do here on Accurate Beats on YouTube. All right? So, today we are, again, as we always do, we're going to listen to some music and we're going to critique the music and maybe give some praise whenever it deserves to. And, it's all about the music, it's all about the beats. We're going to listen to anything that's been sent in and talk about them. Talk about what could be improved, talk about how good they are, all that kind of stuff. And my time here in Sweden right now, this is now the day before. It's basically the 30th of December. So the day before the big night, the day before New Year's Eve. And we're doing this. Which is also me saying that last week we didn't do one of these ones because that was the day before we in Sweden celebrate Christmas. So spending the night before all that stuff down here together with you guys seemed like a great idea in one way, but also kind of a terrible idea in another way. So I actually haven't been down here in the studio for 1 2 1 2. The volume is over there. Yeah. I haven't been down here for well over a week at all. I did this live stream of making beats and whatever, but we haven't been here for this thing. Because the holidays, So I wish everyone had great holidays, a great weekend if you don't celebrate anything. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you might celebrate, because it's been a holiday, it's been a weekend. I've had a great time myself, spending time with the family and doing all the kind of stuff that doesn't involve YouTube or music making or anything like that, which is just necessary sometimes and cool. Feels like my mic is super loud, but I guess that's just me not adjusting my volume on my headphones. Whatever. So back at it again, another episode of the Beat Review. That's what it is. A little bit late start today. Should have started this in 20 minutes ago, but yeah. We are here to listen to beats. So if you don't know what this is, if you don't know how this works, you are not right now able to send in beats for this series, but you will be soon enough. Anyone can send in anything and I'll play it on the stream and I'll talk about it, and people in the chat room will also talk about it and have opinions and whatever. And, it's all about music making. It's all about beat making, production. It doesn't necessarily have to be hip-hop beats. You can send me anything. We've had a lot of crazy stuff being played. Some hardcore, like drum and bass kind of stuff, and some full tracks with singing and lyrics and all that stuff. Something that was like a part of this storytelling thing. I don't know. We're open to anything. We just want to enjoy music and talk about what could be improved and how things could be improved is one thing, but also like how anyone does something really cool could also be like, check that out and think about that technique. And all that stuff is handled on accuratebeats.com, which is my website. And right now the submission form is closed, but whenever it's open again, you're able to just go in there, submit anything into the form, and it lands in my email, and we're going to read it and talk about it and all that stuff. So I know some people are asking. I got this question on socials, and I don't know if I have everything lined up. I don't. Okay. So someone asked where we are in the time frame. What dates are we talking about? Because right now it's closed because I got too much stuff to review. And where are we in terms of the date? Today, again, it's the 30th of December. And the first track we're going to play today came in on, I think I said 10th of December to him, but it's actually the 9th of December. So we're going to listen to anything that came in on the 9th of December and from that point forward. And it's cool. It is what it is. It's a concept. It's what we do. And we do have a chat room as well. We have already a super chat coming in from Made So Well, who always does that for every single stream, which I really appreciate, by the way. But he's also a channel member who donates monthly. So, yeah, I appreciate it even more. Thanks a lot, Made So Well, for the $20, saying Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas right back to you. That's cool. We have Salberts, we have Moran, we have Illinois, we have Beat Owl, and Chris52. Some of the regulars are in here watching and hanging out. I think that's awesome. That's actually something really cool we have been able to do with this little streaming series. Developing some kind of consistency, because a lot of the people that comes in every single week and just listens to stuff and, you know, jumps in with their own feedback and everything like that, which is awesome. So again, we are on the 9th of December. Let me just check this real quick. That should be 1 over there. That's 4, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8. And that one could contain 18. Okay. We have more beats than I'm going to be able to cover today, I'm pretty sure. And sometimes the emails kind of collects into a huge chunk of things. That's me testing. That's someone else. That's on the 10th of December, so I'm messing things up. Hold on. Yeah, that's the first one. So we have the first one lined up, and I'm ready to go. Ready to start listening to some stuff. Instead of just sitting here, watching my computer screens, trying to figure everything out. That's that one. I made some changes to my setup, which should be better, but it takes a while to kind of understand everything and get used to it. There we are. Boom. Everything should work. And whenever I feel like it, I could go there. Okay. Sorry about that one. So I hope everyone had, or still has, because I'm off work for yet another week, or even like 8 days at this point. So hopefully I'm going to be able to do more live streams of me making beats or producing videos or whatever, stuff like that. Who knows? Really enjoy your streams. Thank you, Alan. I really appreciate you being here. It's always good to have people in the chat. And just so everyone knows, all these live streams, if they're not like a total mess in terms of audio or video or whatever, they're going to be left on the channel for you to enjoy or hang out whenever you want to after the fact, which is a thing. Now, the first beat for today on the 30th, no only feet camera, no. I think this is good enough. Face camera, chill out on the side camera that doesn't kind of flow as it should, and the weird. I'm gonna have to move that one. That's just a crazy thing, but you know, we have the technology to do stuff. So, the first one comes from Ted, aka TDK. I think we've had this one before, the same person. Hopefully not the same beat. And the message for this one, in this one, is "What up, accurate? Hope you're doing well. This is my second beat. Yeah, I know. This is my second beat submitted, and I'm looking forward to hear what you think about it. Best of luck, TDK." And there's a file, and I should be able to download it because it's hosted on my website. Yeah, it opened up in Apple Music, which is not what I intended, but you know. It's in the folder. Cool. Ted, aka TDK, and the track name is "The Gods We Are," featuring Rick Rubin. So I guess that's gonna be some kind of remix or something. Yeah, I don't even know. Let's just play the first track. The studio feels a bit different since I moved the computer from. It feels a bit empty on that side, and I'm trying to get used to it. Now, "The Gods We Are," featuring Rick Rubin by Ted, aka TDK. Here we go. That's really loud. That's going to be fixed sometime too. And a nice fade out just after 2 minutes. That's nice. No, that's right, Moran. Submissions aren't open right now because, the same thing as always. I can't just have this huge line of people waiting to get featured. We still have enough to go. So I'm going to open up the submission probably after this stream. Who knows? Now, this track right here by TDK. Featuring Rick Rubin. Yeah, obviously just this vocal sample from Rick Rubin, an interview or a documentary or something. And it worked really well in the beat, I think. I'm thinking, like, the first thought I have here is that I feel like at least one of the bass notes might be a little bit off in terms of pitch. It bugged me a few times, but not in the entire thing, so I might be wrong with that one. I don't know. This was a nice full production. This is obviously someone who knows what they're doing, right? Nothing went like crazy loud. Nothing went crazy silent. Nothing kind of was wrong about it. A lot of sounds going on, which is cool. And it's only 2 minutes and 21 seconds, but you still manage to have a bunch of variations in terms of taking some stuff out and putting some stuff back in and like building an arrangement like that. As well, of course, the vocal samples helps a lot to just have things coming in and out like that. I don't know what to say about this one. Great work in general. Maybe that some of the horns might be a little bit loud to take a little bit too much space. Maybe I would try to lower them in volume and maybe increasing the reverb on them. I don't even know. I think this was nice as it is. That bass note, by the way, we caught it. I don't know if it's the piano note and the bass note that doesn't really work together. I mean, in a musical, like musically speaking, the bass line is in tune. It's nice, but it just collides with something else. And you could see that as it brings a little bit of tension to it, or you could just say that it's out of tune. I don't know. I like the vibe of it. I think it's cool. It's a little bit mysterious and a little bit, suspicious like that. And also the vocals. It's all about creativity, The kick is a bit low, you think?
It's more a way of looking at the world. We're all creators. It's all the same. It's more a way of looking at the world. We're all creators. It's all the same. It's more.
I don't know. Maybe like adjusting the bass line and the kick a little bit. I don't know. Balancing beats and mixes like that is definitely a really hard thing to nail. And I think you did a great job here, TDK. Big ups. Big up to you. That's a nice track. Made so well since that it could use some variation. Yeah, maybe, but I still think it had enough variation for what it was. I make beats kind of this way too. I just build up this massive part with everything, and then I just drag it out and create parts where like the bass line is not included. And, maybe like creating a new part that's different could help. I don't know if it's necessary though. Hit it with the mother ducker. Yeah, a little bit of side chaining. I don't know if it works with this style. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I think honestly that some people tend to put side chaining compression like the mother ducker or whatever like that on everything without even thinking about it. It's pretty much just the default these days. So you have some kind of chords or some melodic instruments and you have a kick drum. Yeah, you need to do side chaining. I don't even know. I don't think you do. Side chaining is as everything else. It's a creative choice that you do. Do you want it or do you not want it? Sometimes it's applicable and sometimes not, For this one, it's hard to say. Would it make it better? I don't know. Not by much. I don't think so. Love Has Limits says happy holidays. And happy holidays right back to you. Now I'm starting to second. Maybe. Okay, that's a little bit too much, I know, but that's a little bit bright to me. That feels better. Let's leave it like that. So that's the first track for today. I might have made a mistake here. Now that I think about it. When it comes to my tech and stuff. Let's check this out. Yeah, so these are the settings for my beat making live streams where I make everything in mono. And I don't necessarily want that for this because I want you guys to be able to hear the music in stereo. So give me a second to set that up. I think it's as easy as doing that on everyone. So let's go over here too. Hold on. This is not going to take long. But I think it makes sense for you guys who have, hopefully most of you have 2 functioning ears to get a stereo mix of the music. But because I'm not as fortunate myself, it's all set to mono. Now it should be fixed. Yeah, that's a stereo signal. Cool. So we managed to fix that without dying. That's cool. That's cool. And emails from whatever, I don't even care. That's not why we're here. So that's the first beat for today. TDK with this track, The Gods We Are, featuring Rick Rubin. Yeah, featuring, I don't know. He was in there though. His voice had a place in the beat. Huh. The next email is sent from someone called Accurate, saying test, 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 test number 2, confirmation check. Let's not listen to that beat. The next one too. And yeah, okay, this is when I had issues with the confirmation that people sent in beats that they didn't receive a notification or a message that said it was all well and good. So I needed to test things, but this one now. Cool. No, okay, there we are. Yeah, I'm sorry about this. Sorry. Right now, the submission form for sending in beats to this show is closed at the moment. It became a little bit much. I had to close it, and it's going to be open again, and everyone's going to have the opportunity to send it in. And if you want to send anything in, right now the submission form is closed again, but you're able to do so on accuratebeats.com eventually. And yeah, I made this one smaller. That looks better, right? It used to be like huge over here. I'm still learning, you know, years into this stuff. I'm still learning. So accuratebeats.com is the place to go to as soon as it's open again. So the next one comes from Linear Line, also someone we've heard before. And that's just what it's going to be. When you are a regular like viewer and participator, I'm going to play you more than once, of course, because everything is going to get played. Yo, Accurate, this is my beat. I hope you liked it. I used sample layers to make it. A VST for the bass and compressor and equalizers for the drums. I hope you will review my beat. And I will. I will listen to your beat right now. Cool. Now, we need to pick this one apart because this one had a lot of stuff going for it. And it's not like I know this person, Linear Line, but he or she has been featured before. But to me, listening to the intro, Right there, I expected the drums to be pretty much straightforward. And yeah, okay, they pretty much are, because when just listening to the kick and the snare in the start here. So I expected the thing to be kind of straight, right? And all of a sudden, the snare introduces this really cool offbeat, drunk beat, kind of Dilla style that everyone tends to call it. But I can't really feel that from the kick or the snare or from any of the samples. Honestly, if we listen to the entire thing and we just pretend that there's no snare, no hi-hat, sorry. So I'm not saying that I would prefer the drums to be straight with like a normal 8-note hi-hat, but it would have been a lot different. And a part of me feels like maybe this entire track was made with straight drums, and then you started messing around with it and you realized that you could offset the hi-hat like this. To me, it really works. It's really cool. I like this beat a lot. I'm just trying to break it down, because this could be an afterthought, doing the hi-hats like this. It doesn't feel necessarily like the rest of the track was programmed or made with that type of swing in mind. Am I being clear here, or am I just messing things up? Am I just talking out of my ass? I could be. I do that a lot. But I like this one for what it is. It just, it just makes me think. Maybe the hi-hat here doesn't necessarily have to be this swingy. Okay, it works really well with the saxophone. And when you build up a loop like this, like a 4-bar loop, I normally tend to go a different way than this. And this is really cool, because this is basically the main portion of the beat is 1, 1, 1, 4. It repeats 3 times and then it switches over. My normal thing is to go 1, 2, 1, 3 or 4 to do variation like that. But since you have so much melodic stuff going on, this really, really works for me. It doesn't become repetitive, even though these parts and then the switch up. Just that doom, 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 doom could become too repetitive. But because you're adding all of these really cool horns, the saxophone, you know what would really be cool, really cool right here? Like, I don't do that a lot. I think it's corny, but for this it could work. Some tom-toms, right? But who am I to say, Nice drums, nice saxophone, nice arrangement. Everything about this one is good. Don't get me wrong. Everything about this one is really good. Again, we have this really high level right now where people are sending in stuff that's fire, basically. And this is one of them. And being able to pull that many elements into there without it becoming clutter or whatever, the samples, the piano, the hi-hat, the drums, the bass, and a lot of saxophone. Without being corny or sounding like, 280s or whatever. It doesn't feel like an 80s cop movie, which it could if you do too much saxophone. But the darkness in this one makes it work. I'm a big fan. Would just be interesting to know if the hi-hat pattern is an afterthought or if that was intended from the get-go. Not that it matters that much, but I think it's funny to think about those things. Or fun to think about those things, I should say. We need to mark that one off. Thanks a lot for sending this one in. Linear Line made us think. And a lot of people in the chat room are saying that they just simply love the rhythm, the groove of it. And me too. Carbon Vibes has also entered the chat with the beautiful little star symbol for symbolizing that Carbon Vibes is a member on the Accurate Beats YouTube channel. Awesome stuff. So these live streams are not monetized. Maybe this one is trying to. Oh, I think I made a mistake. These live streams are not supposed to be monetized because I always get copyright claims on them, and that's fine. So if you want to support me, what I do, this series, all the gear reviews and all that stuff, all my beat making videos and everything, becoming a member is pretty much the best way of supporting what I do. I got pre-roll ads. Okay, so the settings here might be, I might have messed this up. Can I change that as I go? Yeah, the monetization is on. I need to turn that off. Now, monetization should be turned off right now. Could take a minute or whatever, but you should not get ads. And it looked like the entire stream died. It didn't. We're still live. Cool. Beat Owl likes it. Good beat. Sure, you got an IKEA ad. I'm sorry about that. We should not get any ads in this one from this point forward. Because I can't monetize these ones. And that's fine. That's what it is. But still, becoming a member is the best way of supporting this thing. Now, that's Linear Line. Now we have another one. Let's just jump right into the next one. From David Deluge. I'm sorry about these pronunciations on the last names. I do the best I can. David Deluge. Deluge? Deluge. I don't know. This is a chill step tune called Fear, and it was made entirely on the awesome Wove box. Thank you. You have submitted something before and talking about the Wove box. I think I googled it and it seems like a cool piece of gear. So chill hop. Let's listen to this one. Sorry about the ads. Never meant to do it. Yeah. Cool. Now, this makes me... Jeez, I'm sorry about that. Let's... If I do that again, I needed to play without the music. Sorry. So, this track right here makes me think about a few things. One thing that could become a future video of mine on the channel, because I think it's worth talking about. And also, like, I don't know how harsh I want to be. Music, art, whatever we talk about is a subjective thing, right? And I've taken on, I've basically put myself on this high horse, kind of judging beats on this thing. That's not necessarily what I intend to do, but I know that's what it becomes and what it looks like. I'm not better than anyone else, for sure. I know that. But I also think it's valuable to give like criticism, or trying to give some constructive criticism at least, whenever I hear something that I can't deny. But circling back to art and music being subjective, it's also a matter of taste. That's what I think I'm gonna make an entire video about, because taste is one thing and it's subjective. So when it comes to taste, I don't like this beat, flat out. Am I in the position to judge anyone? No. Did you send the beat to me? Yes. Am I allowed to say whatever I want? Yes. I don't want to be like, I don't want to hurt anyone. I just don't like this one. This doesn't appeal to me as a piece of art. Is it wrong? No. It's a few notes in there might have been off, and like in terms of pitch, those two notes doesn't necessarily sound great together by themselves. But in terms of the sound design behind all this and the musical like information we got, I'm not a fan. I don't like it. Is it still a valid piece of music? Of course it is. It's great. It's awesome. You've been able to make something, create a piece of art. That's fucking magical. Do I like it myself? I can't say that I do. I'm not a big fan of this production, this composition, whatever you want to call it. Partly because of the sound choices, the sound design, and the things that makes it sound, Sure. Let's check out the Wove box again. I think that's a pretty special piece of gear. And that could be, okay, it's that one. It looks like a little like board, basically, like the pocket operators, but more advanced. And I'm sure you can make great music on that one, and I'm sure that it has its own little signature sound that you could love or you could not love. Maybe I'm just someone who doesn't love it, Made So Well says it flat out. That device has an interesting sound. Wooly Swells Batman. That was a great effect. Okay. It's not that it's synthy. It's not that it doesn't sound like real instruments, because I don't give a fuck about that. Good music is good music. In this case, there's too many things in here that I just find myself not enjoying. Let's try to put my finger on something. That type of piano sound could be kind of cool, It's not always cool, but it could be kind of cool. Super synthesized and fake sounding. And, the drums right here, if they transform into something else, I could not hate them. Okay, I think I'm realizing that it's the actual sounds that I'm not a huge fan of. The notes themselves and the musical kind of what the notes are and how they play in conjunction with each other, that's fine. The sounds, and it's not like I'm picky. That type of synth bass, I don't use that a lot myself, but it could be used to great effect, and it could be really cool. In this context, I guess the drums and the piano is what really bugs me. The sound of them. Not the notes, but the sound. And maybe it's because of the device itself. That type of vocal choir thing, I know it's synthesized and it could be cool, but having this kind of music sent in is really interesting because it makes us think. It lacks a little bit in terms of dynamics. It's pretty much everything is on full blast. I think I would prefer it more if it had more dynamic information, some softer things going along with everything. But I think it's mostly the sonics that I'm not a huge fan of. But yeah, Beat Owl says it. I think it's really nice and interesting beat. I think it's a really nice and interesting beat because it sounds different. Yeah, that's valid. That's valid. More advanced than a pocket operator? That's impossible. No, I'm sure it is. The Woo box. Yeah, Google that real quick if you want to, because it's basically this little fretboardy kind of thing with buttons, and it looks kind of like a pocket operator, but more, which is okay. But yeah, let's not dwell on this one too much. There's no real mistakes in there. I don't hate it. Do I love it from my musical taste perspective? No. And yeah, again, I'm thinking about making a video about that, because you can be professional or proficient with all types of gear in the world, or with an iPad or whatever you use, and still make stuff that everyone doesn't like, because it's a matter of taste. Developing your own personal taste and your own personal sound is a huge thing. We often talk about the skills and the quality and how things are made, but the layer we forget to talk about sometimes is just your taste, your personal taste of music. You could be the best painter in the world, but have awful taste. You want everyone, say that you paint portraits, and you just want everyone to be green instead of natural color. That's going to appeal to some people. That's not going to appeal to others. And this is more a case of taste than anything else. It doesn't suit my personal taste of music, flat out. I gotta be honest, it doesn't. It's still a valid piece of work, and it's good for what it is. Just doesn't sit right with me. But we're still playing on pretty much a high standard here. This is not bad by any means. Just not made for me, So that's that one. Let's move on. And here's another one. Yeah, okay. This was because I now have way too many emails. I got an email from someone who wanted to collab, not a artist, but a company that wanted me to review a DAW with 3D audio. Perspective audio, like 3D audio with a lot of perspective, like going left and right, back and forth and whatever. I'm deaf on one ear, so I'm the worst person ever to ask for that. I think that's funny. Like, do a little bit of checking in on who you're emailing. Yeah, you want to do a demo, a review of my technology that gives you 3D sound? Yeah, I'm mono. Stupid. VSR says there's definitely something about it. It's just not there yet. Maybe. I mean, I could see someone take the MIDI information from that entire track and just replace some of the sounds and instruments in a DAW and making it sound a lot better. I don't know. The next one. Let's go to the next one. And again, thanks a lot for sending the last one in. David Daluge. I love having that type of stuff. And I think it's kind of cool and kind of fun to be able to be this honest and frank about things. You know, I don't really like the sound selection in your track, and that's fine. That's fine. So this one is from someone who has asked me on Instagram if or why I don't play his beats. And now it's your time, because this one was sent in on the 11th of December, and it's your time. This is from someone called Bricolage. I think I've featured you. I know I've featured one of your beats before. Bricolage, a Swiss beat maker. He says, this track, Funky Science, is produced using the Zoom sample track and the MPC 5000, crafted from carefully selected vinyl samples. Bricolage. Or bricolage, I don't know. It's breaks and a collage, so it's bricolage. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. Anyways. You have 100,000 subs. They did the research. Yeah. Maybe. But I'm deaf on one ear. I can't demo 3D sound. That just doesn't work. Bricolage.
I took it to the nearest chemist and handed it to him. The man read it and then handed it back. He said,
Don't fill your head with things you don't understand.
This is funky science. Funky science. This is funky science.
Cool. So that's Bricolage with Funky Science. And honestly, this is funny because the last track, I had to be a little bit harsh. I had to say my personal opinion that I'm not a huge fan of it. This one, though, works really well for me at least. Maybe the hi-hat could be a little bit lower in volume for me, but you know, the bass thing has it, the flute has it, the drums definitely has it, and the little scratch part that comes in and out, that's just chef's kiss. I'm a fan. This is good. This is really good. Let's think about what we could do to make this one even better. I don't know if that's necessarily possible, but still.
Understand.
And a sample like that in the beginning is so effective. Just puts you in the mood, right? The strings, really good. One of my problems here, though, if I need to point something out, I didn't know that I don't have to, but I'm still gonna. The foundation here with the bass stuff, obviously sampled material, I would try to have it the way it is, but also add maybe the same thing, but just an octave up. I don't know, maybe duplicate it to another track and just giving it a little bit more mid. I don't know. It feels like it almost disappears in the mix. It's really low in terms of frequency, which is cool, but playing this on like an iPhone speaker or something, I'm not sure that it would work. I'm not sure how much of the bass gets translated. Oh, there's a filter on it, I think. But it's also really interesting and impressive to keep that bass element going and adding the flute in different ways, like a small little melody here and a little phrase over here, becoming silent for a bit, going back to the main theme. It shows that you put a lot of time into this one and a lot of thought was given. Yeah, that's just a dope beat. I don't know how much we need to break everything down because we can't stay on a single beat for 15 minutes every time. Bricolage, super funky science. Yeah, super G02 funky science. I'm just gonna call the track funky science. You know, it's good. Thanks a lot for sending it in, and I love featuring your stuff. And don't stress. You're gonna get played eventually if you send something in. It's just the way it works with queues and people lining up and waiting. But yeah, you have been played. Bricolage from Switzerland. Cool. So, let's see if it's time to move into the next track. I think it is. Adjusting the share might be needed. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Cool. So, the next one comes from Jarhead. I'm pretty sure we've seen Jarhead in the chat room. Maybe he's been featured before. I don't know. Hey Ak. Made this one like 2 years ago. Back when I still used to smoke weed in the morning and make beats after. It's more of a repetitive ambience kind of instrumental with no drums. Looking forward to your feedback, everybody. Looking forward to your feedback, everybody. Thanks for playing my stuff. Jarhead, 2 years ago when he used to smoke weed and make beats in the morning. So he calls it an ambient track without drums. So maybe we're gonna get into the feeling. Let's check it out.
Complete feeling of
Well, honestly, that's a little bit unfortunate. It's cool for what it is, but it's so obvious that you're a beat maker making beats, and then you just made something that's ambient, which means no drums, right? But it's still a 4-bar hip hoppy beat making kind of loop. That one with drums would have been really cool, really awesome. A little bit repetitive, but you pointed that out yourself, so that's fine. I would love to have heard this one with drums, honestly. It works as it is, but it's more of like film music, something that you see in a movie just passing by. This one would have been more impactful for someone like me with a full set of drums on it, because it's still that loop based. You can still hear a loop point and you can still feel the rhythm so clearly that it doesn't really benefit from not having drums, in my book. It doesn't need to be like super boom bappy hard drums. Just like a rim shot in there every now and then would have helped me, at least. It's vibey, but it feels like it needs drums. If you want to do like ambient music, I think you need... Who am I to say what you need? But if you make ambient music, I think it makes sense to make a longer piece of music with more variation, developing and like having things happen over time, Made So Well is gonna sample it. Yeah, then you just gonna make his beat, I guess. The same loop with drums would have been really cool. But it's cool. But when I'm thinking about ambient music, I'm thinking not necessarily super slow music either. Could still have a beat and a sense of rhythm, but just a longer, more extended idea of a track with more, dynamics in there, with more variation, with more ups and downs with it. A lot of people I know who makes ambient music are making these really slow, like 10 minutes soundscapes with just things moving in and out, like left and right and up and down in terms of volume and frequencies. And you did this filter sweep. That's really effective for beats. But if you want to do something like that in ambient music, I think just instead of using a 4-bar loop and having the filter go down and back up, do that over like 45 seconds. Longer, more extended ideas. That's what I'm thinking about when I hear ambient. So JK says maybe ambient isn't the right description. I don't think it is. Is it a laid-back idea for a beat? Yeah. Could this also work on like a really lyrical rapper rapping on top of this without any drums? Yeah, for sure. That would be really, really cool. Imagine someone like, I don't even know names anymore, but someone like Action Bronson, you know? That would work really, really well. Hip-hop rap tracks without drums, love it. This could be one of them, for sure. So let's step away from the ambient thought and just consider it as a beat for a rapper without drums. Holds up really well. So that's from Jarhead. And if that was 2 years ago, I would love to hear what you were up to today, because that one had a lot of potential. Really cool stuff. So now we're moving into this email of beats that came in on the 16th of December. So not that long ago, like 2 weeks ago. And this is an email. Okay. So I'm still kind of new to this. This is an email with 18 emails. So this one has 18 submissions from the same day. Not by the same person. Like 15, did I say 15? 18 unique individual ones. So I'm going to stay on this email for the rest of this show, I guess. What are you guys saying? You could use it for an intro track for an album. Yeah. Some bars would be sick. Yeah, I'm not the only one. So yeah, we are on the 16th of December, and the first track that came in that day seems to be from GG Blaps. Not JJ, GG Blaps. Trip hop inspired beatmaker from California. Cuts by Mr. Brown. Cool. So trip hop inspired beatmaker from California. And the track should have some cuts on it. I don't know why. It just feels like this one has potential. As soon as someone says trip hop, I'm thinking good stuff. Might be wrong though. Let's give it a shot. GG Blaps and Mr. Brown. Yo, that's cool. That's cool. And he called this trip hop inspired. And I see why. I see why. What I think is interesting when you listen to music this way, as we do on these live streams, this track is obviously driven by the bass line. Sure, the drums, but in terms of music, it's driven by the bass line. The bass is pretty much the main instrument here. The drums here are awesome. I love them. It became like borderline drum and bass at one point, but he held back to go back to like a normal type of beat, which I really appreciate. Awesome drum sounds, great bass line, and a lot of atmospheric stuff on top of that, with this root note thing going. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. On this one, it just feels like a finished thing. It just feels good and feels done. You see? Maybe a part of me... Oh. Yeah. This is all the atmospheric stuff. I don't even know. All this stuff in the background. Like a bunch of noise and stuff in there. That's really awesome. Having this loop with the drums and the bass line, playing without all that stuff would have been like not enough. That's not enough to make a full track. And then you just put all these stuff on it, which works really well. I think that's cool. And the of course, Mr. Brown's scratch that comes in over here. That's cool. A lot of weird delay effects and stuff going on. Maybe that's manually done by someone who really knows their way around the turntable. I don't know. I'm not that good of a scratcher myself. This is someone who scratches better than me. But when it comes to musicality, I'm not sure how much this fits into it. I mean, it does. It's great. It fits in really well and it's good. But a part of me wants something more from the scratch. Doing all these really quick tricks on the owl sample like this is awesome. It's really cool, and you can hear that this is someone who knows what they're doing. But a part of me kind of also wants, like, maybe scratch a different kind of phrase, maybe some words, maybe something like that. I know that's not what everyone does in the turntablist community. There's a lot of this stuff going on, and it's cool and it's fun. And I think it's also good that the scratch comes in at like the entire track plays for 1.5 minutes, and then the scratch comes in. If we would have this type of scratch, going on for the entire track, that would have been too much. So I think you did a great job here. GG and Mr. Brown. GG Blaps? Yeah, GG Blaps and Mr. Brown. Sucked Into is the name of the track. It's a nice track. I don't have a lot of bad stuff to say about it. It's great. I love the drums. For sure. And everyone else says that the drums are on point. I like the reverb, but it made the track sound a little bit muddy. Is that about this one? Yeah, the scratching was on point. I like reverb, but for me it makes the track sound a bit muddy. I did not pick up on that. I don't know. I did not pick up on that now even, so maybe I'm just stupid. Uh, I didn't know I could like this kind of music, says Made So Well. That's a good thing to have said about your track. And I just now picked up on the fact that JK in the chat room is the producer behind the last beat. Whatever that one was. This one, right? Yeah, that's JK in the chat. Cool. Nice to have you here. And nice that you were able to be here when your beat was played. That's always a good thing. So that's from... Okay. Okay, my bad. This is not the same person. I thought it was. I need to breathe for a second. All right. I think there's something strange going on with my mic and my headphones because my voice is really loud on my headphones and the music is not. So I need to check in on that for the next week's stream. I'm just noticing that I'm getting tired from hearing myself, you know? So the next one comes from someone. I've made this in my kitchen with my bass guitar and my laptop. On a day I thought that nothing was coming. The psychedelic bleeps were pre-recorded on my Korg MS-10. So that's from Sebastian. That's cool, you know, having that type of background for a track. I made this with my bass guitar and my laptop. On a day I thought nothing was coming. We all have those days, you know, when you're just not inspired, you don't think you're going to be able to do anything, and then something just comes out. So let's have a listen to this one. Sebastian with a track called Introspection. The file name is actually Introspection Demo V5.mp3. So maybe not the finished work, because V5 says something. Let's check it out. Something with the volume of this one needs to be... I just need to turn down the volume. Let's go from the start again. I think it was distorted on your end too, so hold on.
quizás podamos captar alguna idea, algo que venga del espacio.
Okay, cool. Thanks for having that part in there without the bass line, because that helped me to like figure everything out. A lot of people in the chat room, you know, controlling the volume when I play these tracks on the stream together with my mic and everything, it's a lot. So sometimes the volume just gets out of hand because things are not properly mixed or whatever. So for this one, Introspection demo version 5, I think you need to work on a version 6. Just because of the mix. The bass here is really, really good. The bass line, you made it with your bass, so I guess you played it yourself. It's awesome. It's really, really good. But the mix is not. So the bass is overbearing in so many ways. It's too loud, it's too much, it's, you know, it just sticks out. So when we had this part right here, even though the bass line is maybe the best thing about this one, it's just way too loud. So over here, without the bass, yeah. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. It's a great mix of everything. I love the sound of the drums and the different kind of arpeggios and the melodies and the chords, and it just works really, really well. And especially with that driving bass line that handles all the note changes and the chord changes basically. But the mix is just crazy. The mix is it just needs to be tied down. It should, I should say in Swedish, but it needs to be adjusted. It needs to be fixed somehow to find a better balance between the bass line and pretty much everything else. I guess it's just a matter of taking it down in volume. Why am I not just saying that? Lower the volume of the bass line because it's way too much. But let's lower the volume for everything and listen a little bit more. The melody that the bass line plays is just phenomenal. Doom doom da doom 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 da doom 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 da doom doom doom. Really good stuff. Musical things like that is what I sometimes just feel like I want to do that myself. I want to be able to come up with those types of melodies and just get that cohesive of an idea through. You did a great job. This is really good. But the mix of the bass line, come on. Everyone agrees with it in the chat room, it seems like. Everybody the Beat Owl says the bass is fire. And immediately afterwards, Moran says the bass is a bit overwhelming. And I think that's it. It's a great bass line, but it's crazy. Everyone liked it, but everyone agrees with the mix. Oh, movie scene or show use would be great. Yeah. This almost feels like it could fit into, like a Quentin Tarantino kind of movie. Especially with that type of bass line, mixed properly though. But that type of bass line and all the other things here. It feels like a game show and happy-go-lucky kind of wow, but also a lot of seriousness going on in the background. Musically speaking, I love this one. It's great. But it's called Introspection Demo version 5. And I think you just need to adjust some things in the mix primarily. And this one will be fire. And you also have all those kinds of sound effects going in and out, like this ear candy thing that a lot of people just forgets about, me included. Really good stuff. Love it. I love it. Beat review for that one. I love it. Please redo the mix. That's all. That's all. Made in your kitchen too. So maybe that's just on headphones and that's what it is. So the next one is GG Blaps. We've already played that one. Probably just send it twice. Which is fine because the confirmation system doesn't really work always, I guess. Now, definitely a Tarantino movie for sure. Yeah, thanks. I think that makes sense. I think it does. And we have been at this now for 1.5 hours, something like that. And I've promised to do this 2 hours or more every time. Let's just restart that camera over here because, yeah, it's still out. Maybe it doesn't get the power it needs from the USB. Let's see. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Give me like 20 seconds. Now it should, yeah. And believe me, I know this is not important, but it's just fun for me to be able to switch and use multiple cameras because I can. Now, the next one. Yeah, the camera is on. Cool. The next one comes in from someone called 2L3W, which in internet language becomes slew. And I just got logged out. No, not that one. Okay, that's my password. So, fingerprint. Okay. That camera doesn't show my keyboard. Cool. Oh. And we are in the email again. Cool. We are over here. So I said the next one comes from Slew 2L3W, which becomes Slew in my mind. Hi, I'm a drummer and producer. There is a beat with live show played over it. I read that all wrong. Hi, I'm a drummer and producer. There is a beat with live drums played over it. Check out whole composition. Playing some samples over it and some synths as well. Most sounds comes from Serum. Cool. Slew. Let's play this one back. Live drums and some synths and some stuff. Could be cool. it just ends like that. So we are struggling with the volume a little bit today. I don't know why, but it 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1. Okay, that's my volume. Cool. So because I am this beat maker, and a lot of people who follows me and sends beats to this thing are beat makers, we have a lot of programmed drums or played on drum pads or whatever. So having an actual drummer submitting a track makes the whole difference. You know, this makes me realize that, yeah, the drums most of us normally do are not even in the same kind of in the same world as a proper drummer playing a real drum kit, because this is different. All those cymbals, all this liveliness in the playing makes a big, even a huge difference. In a really good way, sometimes, and sometimes I like programmed drums. I make the music I make because I love it, you know. But this is really cool. This is some cool stuff. I'm not that big of a fan of the ending of it when it became like too, I don't even know, this. I mean, why? But the rest of everything else has this really lively, live jam type of feeling about it, which is really, really cool. And again, we don't hear enough of it because we're mainly talking about beats. The comment from Slew here was, a drummer and producer, this is a beat with live drums played over it. Playing some samples over and some synths as well. Yeah, I mean, great stuff. Being like interested in music production in general, I find something like this interesting and really cool. Is this something that anyone just could enjoy listening to always? I don't necessarily think so. And does it have to be like that? No, of course not. All music is not made to be like, it's not supposed to be played on the radio, you know? Is this like neo jazz? I don't even know. Let's not care about putting it in a category. It's just a great piece of music. Someone had some complaints about the mixing of the drums, but I don't. I think the drum mix here is really cool for what it is. It sounds like a beat. It sounds like jazz, hip hop, whatever. If it was even cleaner, I think a lot of stuff would be lost in translation here. Would someone like me appreciate more loops and more like consistent ideas, allowing to kind of build the foundation? Yeah, because that's who I am and that's what I like. But this is just good stuff. Straight up good stuff. He plays the snare drum really hard. Okay, the snare drum might be triggered. I don't know. I like that a lot. And I'm not like, you know, I'm not competent to say much about this. It's good. It's cool. Would I like to see more repetition and more? Yes, I would. But maybe that's not right for something like this. This is really good for what it is. And people in the chat room seems to agree. I like the chaos. Cool. Me too. Parts of it. But I'm also really sensitive to that kind of stuff. One day my finger drumming will be on this level. Awesome. And Carbon Vibe says, mic placement for drums seems so daunting to me. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It is. It's daunting. I've mic'd up a fair share of my fair share of drum kits over the days for live use and also for studio work. And something like that has so many different rules that has to be followed, and I just don't trust it. I don't like it. And it's also funny because it's one of those things that when you are in studios here in Sweden, in this small town with people who thinks they know music, there's always a right and a wrong way to do things, right? And like having this normal sized drum kit and just putting like 10 mics on it, near close mics and like head overheads and everything, that's the way to do it. And the one who does it best is a genius, right? But also the same people can say in the next sentence like, yeah, I met this guy once, he put 2 mics on the entire drum kit and made it sound awesome, he's a genius. So if he's a genius and the guy with 12 mics is also a genius, what's right and what's wrong here? I've been in a situation once where we just put an SM58 on an entire drum kit. We just found a good distance to grab everything. Sure, it didn't sound like properly mixed and whatever, but it sounded just fine for what we did at the time. So a part of me feels like most of those rules about what you're supposed to do can just go out the window. If you're miking up a drum kit for live use, it's a different thing. Some things just needs to be closed up because you don't want bleed between different channels and whatever, which is, that's what it is. Sometimes that rules just needs to be followed because you have a certain scenario, like a live show. That's a different beast in itself. But if you're miking up drums for studio use, for music production, beat making, whatever you want to call it, you can do it in so many different ways. And it's daunting. I couldn't agree more. It's terrifying. It's scary. Depending on who you're working with, right? Because normally the drummer himself or herself has their own opinions. And this needs to go there. This needs to go there. This needs to be... Nothing ever needs to be done in any specific way. If it works right now and it works for what I'm trying to go for, it works, Yeah, I don't know. But just that thing about he's a genius. He puts 12 mics on it and it sounds as it should. At the same time, someone can put 1 or 2 mics on an entire kit and he's a genius. Fuck that, Do whatever you want. Seem to be no right way to record drums. Depending on who you ask, there's always a right way. People suck. That's basically what it is. Now, again, back to the beats. We heard Slew Slew, and he made us appreciate drums. That's cool. This is from Buckshot LeFonque? Buckshot LeFonque? I don't know. This is my first submission. The beat is called Back at It. Cool. That's straightforward enough. Let's check it out. Am I the only one who wants a proper bass line out of this? I mean, the chords, the drums, everything just sits on the exact right place. This is really good. Nice and relaxing, properly done in every sort of way. But I want more bass notes, more of a proper bass line. I guess the bass line is this, but I just want it to ring out a little bit, you know? And that like suspended chord, so good. Someone immediately mentioned West Coast and Snoop Dogg and all that stuff. And yeah, sure, that type of guitar licks gives you that type of vibe for sure. But talking about a single piece of music like this, like the drums are hard, the chords are really nice, and then you just have this guitar figure doing some stuff every now and then. Nice and simple, easy enough, and cool. I guess cool is like the best way to describe this one. But I just want more bass notes. More bass. There's a lot of space to add a bass line. Is it like mandatory? Maybe not. This could work as it is without the bass line, but I think a bass line would make it just impact even more. But the lack of a proper bass line here also creates a lot of space in the mix. And if that's like something you've done intentionally and it's like a creative choice and a creative path you went down, I don't want to say anything bad about that because it's good. It's a solid way to work. But you have space for a bass line. Why not just introduce one every now and then? But the snare drum here, we gotta give some love for the snare. And of course it's not there. That's nice. And we could start talking about like the velocity of the hi-hat because the hi-hat feels like I think that's cool. Could it be changed? Yeah. Would it be better? Not necessarily. I don't know. So I know I started the stream a little bit late, so we're gonna keep doing things, but let's change up the vibe a little bit. Just because we can. And this is more for me than for you. I know. No one really cares, but it's nice for me. Whoom. Or whoom. Accurate beats after dark. Beat reviews after dark. I don't know. Blue, red. I think we want to go with the blue because those lights are blue already. That one and that one. Let's go blue. Such a different vibe. I wish you were here, you know? So that's from Buckshot Le Funk. Buckshot Le Funk. In French, I guess. Buckshot Le Funk. And this is someone we do recognize from before. I haven't seen him here today, though. Benji. Benji.Lofi. Are you here? Are you here, my friend? And we have Benj and we have Benji. You know, we have two people with similar names in here. Yeah, everyone loves the snare and everyone loves the blue. Red looks best? I don't know. Let's do the blue one for now. So let's give Benji. Benji just dropped out for work. Did I miss you? I missed Benji. Yeah, he's here. He was here. Gotta go to work. Can never watch a full episode live. I'm gonna have to ask Mondays off from work. No, please don't. Go to work. But you are gonna be featured now. He just left, so it's unfortunate, but what can I do? Benji.Lofi. As always, love to you all, talent and the way you are. Trap/lo-fi vibes. And he pulled a bad one. He sent me a link to Spotify. I don't want you to do that at all. Well, he also writes all other platforms as well. Waiting for my next paycheck to subscribe to you and to show support. Now I feel bad. Of course, we're going to play you on Spotify. Of course. And my daughter was listening to TV Girl. Let's stop that. Let's make sure that we're on the right track. It's always hard when we get the Spotify links because I don't ever understand if I'm actually landing on the same. It always feels like I'm landing on the artist's page, not the track itself. I think this is the track though. Benji.Lofi. Let's play the shit. Nice. Yo, that's cool. That's really good stuff. This is some well-produced music right there. Benji.Lofi. Thanks a lot for sending this one over. In the email, it says trap/lo-fi vibes. I did not pick up much of any trap vibes. Lo-fi, sure. To me, this feels like, this is more R&B than hip-hop. And to me, more R&B than trap, too. More R&B than lo-fi. I don't know. Labels left and right. Who cares, really? A well-produced track with a lot of cool stuff going on. Properly mixed. Sounds professional, if we want to use the bad P word. And all types of different change-ups and transitions. And that made me scared, because what happens after that one? Do we go into this huge drop with like a whole different tempo? No. Everything stayed consistent and nice, and some switch-ups and, a lot of great sounds. Maybe it's just the season being here right now, but it sounds a little bit Christmassy to me because of all the bells and all the high-pitched stuff, together with everything else. The bass line, it's an electronic R&B type of track, and I'm a fan. This is good stuff. And it adds so much dynamics to a track when you have these like full chords playing out with a lot of sustain and release and whatever. And then all of a sudden you go into this other part without any of that at all. And it's just ding 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 ding. Dynamics. It's pretty much everything. So going from a full on like chords to just pluck sounds. Something simple as that becomes really, really effective when we're talking about production in this type of way. And of course, drum programming like this is also difficult. It takes a lot of patience to program them and a lot of skills to play them. Yeah. And I keep calling this R&B because I can imagine, someone like Beyonce or whatever singing on this. And then, I'm from a certain genre, so I'm thinking like Beyonce and then a verse by someone like Ludacris, not necessarily like that, but you know what I'm talking about. It's good. It's well produced. It sounds really good. And there's not a lot of stuff to be said about this one that's other than positive. If this section was the entire track, I would have said that it's flat out just uninteresting and uninspired, and it's just and then all of a sudden, that's really cool too. Then you go into this. Keeping the bass notes and everything consistent. Whew, that's really good. Too bad you had to leave us early to go to work, because it would have been nice to have you here live since you just left. That's just unfortunate. Thanks a lot, Benji Lofi. I've seen you in the chat room and I've been wondering, This is awesome. This is really good. R&B, more than straight up boom bap or lo-fi beats. That's cool. Now, we have another one from TDK. So this puts me in kind of a situation, because we already played TDK in this episode. And I'm not going to feature the same person more than once in the same episode. That doesn't make sense. So let's mark this one as not read. Okay? Let's get back to this one on the next episode. And go to the next one. Now, we have officially been live for over 2 hours, which means I could sign off whenever I want to. You know? This is fun. Simply fire vibes all around. Yeah. High fidelity with lo-fi energy. Maybe that's it. Love Has Limits has sent something in. Where are you in the lineup? I'm not sure. But I'm still... Yeah, you didn't ask. I know. I'm just thinking. We are still on submissions that came in on the 16th of December. And there's a lot of them. So let's move slowly. And let's do maybe 2 or 3 more. I don't know. This one comes in from Charles Howard. Platinum Baby Studio. A fast track, not sure where it falls. Maybe rap. Platinum Baby Studio. A fast track. Okay, cool. This could be different. Let's just set our minds to that this could be different. Let's go! I guess that's the end of it. The file keeps playing, but it's silent. Yeah. So the music, the file itself is 1 minute and 32 seconds and silence at the end. I still found this one, just from a casual listening perspective, to be really repetitive. The amount of notes makes it worse because it's busy. It's this arpeggio kind of thing going on. And the same, hey, 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 over the entire thing. A slightly distortion on the bass line is a nice touch. The drums, they are what they are. And the melody thing, everything just works together. But this feels like a section in the track more than a fully-fledged idea. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. He said maybe it's rap. So maybe he's not used to this type of music. I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's not a done deal, I think. But it's still kind of cool. I like the sound of that. I think it's cool. But it needs to be developed into something else. And you need to spend a little bit of time with something like this to understand what will the next section be. What does this one need? And I think we heard it from the last one. Like a section that's more grounded with played chords that rings out could help. Moran says becomes monotonous. Yeah, for sure. It's repetitive, and it's a good idea, as Carbon Vibes is pointing out. This is a good starting idea, but it needs to be developed into something else, something more. The kick drum is maybe a little bit loud, but as an idea, I'm not hating this. The sound you picked for the synth and the figure, the melody itself, the notes, it's good. Just needs to be put into context, you know? This feels like it doesn't have much of a context, but it's cool. Sent in from Charles Howard. A fast track, not sure where it falls. Maybe rap, maybe not. Maybe instrumental, but it just needs to be, you know, worked on and extended. Am I doing something wrong? No. This is another one from Benji Lofi. We played you like 2 tracks ago. So, no. Let's mark this one as unread too. Oh, I love all you do. Couldn't figure out how to switch to MP3 to upload. And Spotify link to the same track. Okay, so that's fine. Let's mark it as read. Cool. So, you know what? Let's do 2 more and let's cut it out. Let's just leave it at that. 2 more for today, and then we're doing yet another episode of the Beat Reviews next Monday. So we're coming back next week. Let's not overdo this. 2 more tracks. This is one of them. So, Love Has Limits. You won't be played today, unfortunately. That's just what it is. And I don't know where you are, but I know. Yeah, there you are. On the 16th of December. Love Has Limits. Sorry, you are like 7 beats away. Not going to be featured today. I'm sorry. Next week, though, definitely. 100%. So the next one comes from Aiden. What's up with my mic now? The volume on this one, it's crazy. I think I need to get one of those Shure 7B, B7, 7B, whatever it's called. This is good, but it's also kind of crazy. The next one comes from Aiden Bozart. Spent 6 hours on the house track. I really enjoy making this genre of music, and I hope everyone likes it! Exclamation mark. House. So he made a house track in 6 hours, and this is what it is. Let's play it. It's called Deep House. Something Deep House, 121 BPM. So, seatbelt. Let's listen. What was that? The acoustic guitar or whatever in the background? That wasn't me. Was that Spotify? Was that Spotify in the background? Maybe it was. Yeah, it was. So let's close Spotify. Where are we? Over here. Yeah, house music. Let's go.
A situation at the main desk. I'll need some advice.
Bill, you want to handle this? Pick up 05, will you? I got it.
playing music like this for 2 minutes just doesn't feel fair, because a track like this, obviously it keeps building over time, and the track is like 6 minutes long. So just the first 2 minutes, it doesn't feel fair, but still. So personally, I've never been much of a fan of house music, because it's a crazy genre that's so deep and has so much different things. Anything could be house, you know? To me, this is kind of like classic house music, and this works for me, for real. You might know of Ricky Tines, right? He's also a music-making YouTuber who makes, I don't know if he would say that it's very similar to what he does, but, you know, I've grown to enjoy his type of house music to a certain extent. He's really good at what he does, and his video presentation and everything, awesome. And the music is growing on me. That kind of laid-back house music that he represents, and that I feel is also in here, it's good. It's melodic, it's rhythmical, it's not too repetitive, it's not borderline trance music, you know? I think this is cool. And the 909 drum sounds always hits, and there's a lot of fun things going on with the rim shots and stuff in this one. I appreciate that. And melodically, like this whole, I think it's over here, the vocal thing in the background.
Wants to know how he can terminate the marriage.
No. That's really creative. That's really cool. And the chords and everything in the bass line, it just works. It's a good piece of music. Not my genre per se, but I really understand it. You know? A part of me thinks like, hey, okay, I'm not saying that this is easy to make, but this is borderline. It's not what I do. It's not what I'm saying either. But this type of electronic loop-based music feels like something I should be able to do myself, you know? I've made beats and music for a lot of years to kind of, you know, some things I do are pretty good, I think. And like moving into this genre would be so interesting. Not because I love it, but just because I don't love it. And just understand how it works and the ins and outs of the genre. I'm thinking about that. This is a dope track for sure. And then like that open hi-hat, does that one need to be this loud? Is that like a genre thing? Maybe it is. I don't get it. I think the open hi-hat could be way lower in volume. Let's jump in like 4 minutes into the track just to see what happens. Okay, sorry. VU Beats is asking, and I'm not answering. Who made this? Okay, that's a good question. This is made by Aiden Bozart. Prod by Aiden Bozart. Let me just paste that name in the chat. Maybe you're going to be able to find him. That's his name, Aiden Bozart. And also his artist name. That's what it is. And Moran said something about my mic. Yeah, and this mic is now going into my audio interface, my Apollo, with, let's see what I have on the mic. 2 something. UAD, that one's turned off. Okay, so the Teletronics limiter. I guess this is an 1176 clone, and it sounds good. And it does a lot of work right now. It just picks up my voice. a lot. So I could do this and it's not like super quiet. But if I'm here, it's not overly bassy either. So I think that's okay. If I turn it off, this is, I need to crank the gain and then it becomes more sensitive. So I think I like it like that and with that thing turned on. But the way it feedbacks into my headphones is what messes me up. It's loud. And it seems to be loud on your end too, but in kind of a nice way. And it gives me a little bit of room, so I don't have to be all up in it. And that just makes my job a little bit easier. Is it always better? I don't know. There's a lot of limiting going on. At least give it a try. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Cool. So I said that was going to be the second to last one. So let's keep my promise and play one more. And then let's get out of this thing. So the last one. The last one for today comes from Sebastian. And all of a sudden it feels like it's way too loud again. Like that. Sebastian Berenes. Hi. Hi, that type of emoji. Listening to my beat. I like your content. Please, peace, Mikari. Police type beat 94 BPM. So this is not house, I guess. 94 BPM. Okay. Aiden Bosart has no Spotify or YouTube account on that name, and that makes me sad. Let's try to find this guy. So he writes his name like this. Oh, this is messy. Okay, that's a full link. So it's obviously at his name, Aiden Bosart. No, at prod by Aiden Bosart. It's again in the chat. At prod by Aiden Bosart. That's all I can give you. Maybe he's, maybe he's not releasing stuff. I don't know. But if he finds out about this video and he goes into the comments, I don't even know. Now, the next one comes from Sebastian Berenes, and it's called Police Type Beat 94 BPM. Well, okay. At the end there, we had some really cool string sounds coming in. And I think those deserves to have a little bit more space in the track in general. This is not a bad idea over here. Yeah, again, not really my type of music per se, because this is kind of in the trap genre, I guess. But it's not a bad production. It's not. Sometimes it just feels like, sometimes when people are working on music, they just make it a little bit too difficult for themselves. Working away on things and just adding layers and layers on top of the track without ever going back to see, does anything needs to be adjusted here? Not in terms of, compression or reverbs, or just the volume. Because this feels a little bit messy. It feels like a beat that could be really clean and really nice, but the volumes of some things just sticks out in a way that becomes, I can't stop thinking about it. Those bells, why are those so loud in the back, so quiet in the background? And that vocal thing? And then you pull up the volume of the bells too much, and it becomes the other way around instead. Eminem did a lot of I think that was after the second D12 project. He made a lot of mysterious stuff, and the beats sounded not like this, but it had some similarities to some of the sounds that are going on here, like the bells making it sound like this post-apocalyptic kind of world theme thing that's really dramatic and cool. And it needs to be mixed in a certain way that makes it sound simple. And this one almost does it, but not quite. I'm thinking about the beat to Renegade with Jay-Z and Eminem. That's on Jay-Z's album, but you know what I'm talking about. And the screaming samples are cool, but are they necessary? I don't know. The drums, super tight. The bass line, it is what it is. But the mixing of all the other elements in here could be tweaked. And the entire piece of music would just, it would easier pass off as something done than what it is right now. It's not bad. And I have a hard time just putting words on exactly what I'm thinking about, but there's something going on with the mix. I just think take all the different faders down and increase one thing at a time and just find a new balance of things. Just remix, not a remix, but mix the entire thing from the ground up. And I don't think you're going to end up with the same result, Well, that's what I have to say about that one. A lot of people are saying, put a good rap vocal on it. Done. Oh, maybe. And people are already saying goodbye to one another. So yeah, you are getting the grip. We are not going to stay here for much longer because that was the last track for today. Officially the last track we played today. Which means I'm going to have to do a little bit of math to understand if I could open up the forum or if it needs to be remained closed at this moment in time. Boom. Thanks a lot for sending this one in, Sebastian. I appreciate it. So, you're more than welcome to just sign off now. We're done with the beat review. I just want to make sure to communicate to the few of you that will be left if there's going to be an option for you to send in more beats or not right now. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that email, which is .17. That's just a friend of mine. 7. Okay. And that's all. That's all. We have 7 more beats to go in this email, plus the 2 ones we had to skip because they've already been played. So 7 more beats is not enough for next week's episode. Sebastian Baran, that's the same guy. Okay, so 6 plus 2, that's 8. And that seems to be the same guy too. Okay. Okay, someone is... Charles Howard is sending in a lot of things that I need to spread out over different episodes. Whatever. I'm just going to go into my website and open up the form again. So now when we're here, when we're done with this, I need more beats for the next episode. So in the next episode, Love Has Limits, you're going to be covered. And some other people, I'm not going to name everyone, but I know Love Has Limits asked questions about this. So I'm going to sign out and say goodnight to all of you guys and get into my website to kind of open up the form again, open up the submissions for the next week's episode because I need more beats. We need more stuff to listen to, for sure. Cool, I'm sending my Christmas sample. That's nice. You made a Christmas beat. I want to hear that, for sure. Renegade is such a great song. Yeah, one of the best ones, for sure. Beat Owl, Moran, Aptemo, I can't pronounce that name, Atemonos, I guess. Salbert, Carbon Vibes, Made So Well, I think I said. JK, Mr. B, Love Has Limits, Made So Well, Syntax, Beat Owl. A lot of people are coming back to this little show, which is so cool. I really appreciate that. Having this communication, this two-way thing is awesome. I love this. I love that we started doing this weekly as live streams. It's just such a great thing for me to do, if nothing else. And it's also a nice way to feature other people's music, you know? It's just straight up cool. But we're going to say goodnight, and I'm going to fix the form on the website and post that on Instagram to make people know that you are able to send in beats for a couple of days, I guess. I'm not going to be able to have that one open for long because a lot of people are sending in beats, which is awesome. I love it. But in terms of logistics, I hope everyone understands why I do things the way I do it, because it just works like that. And we're going to do another beat making live stream someday soon. Maybe tomorrow, daytime from me. I don't know. I'm not going to promise anything. But beat making live is going to happen. For sure. Thanks a lot for sticking with me. And if I don't see you until then, Happy New Year's. And happy holidays and all that stuff. Now, time to go. Peace out.